Okay. Welcome back to another video of my channel, BaltiqVlog. Today I have absolutely different setting and I'm testing out this microphone for the first time and the full lighting setting. Obviously why I need these sunglasses, which are really cool actually. I like them a lot. I got them from Jaded London. Apparently very fancy at the minute they are. I really do love these glasses, and I got another pair of shades as well. Maybe I'll show you in the next video, but tell me if this reminds you of that movie with Johnny Depp, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Off topic, today's video is going to be about last year why I became vegan, which is a very broad subject actually, and I've seen a bunch of videos online about people going vegan and all these like different reasons why you should become vegan or whatever. But my reason was completely different. It was last year, just starting of January, and my main reason for me becoming a vegan was a tough breakup that I had at the time. So I just had to focus my energy into something completely new. Basically, I'm a very big bacon lover. So at the time I was like working in West London around Ealing, and there was this place where I had for breakfast like bacon turnover with cheese every single morning. That is just amazing. However, at the time I was in a complete shock. And I couldn't believe what happened, so I thought, what can I do so I can shut my mind up? That's not very good. So I can shut my mind up and just focus on something else. So I thought, I give it a go. I become a vegan, and then obviously it requires a lot of creativity with like making new recipes, cooking for yourself. Even when you eat outside, you have to kind of be wary of what you're getting, and there's not too much choice. Actually, there is too much choice in London, but at the start, it just seems like a whole new world. So that is my reason why I became vegan, and it wasn't something that I just like did overnight. I had previously given up on like milk and eggs. I didn't really eat any eggs before. I was drinking almond milk way before that. Anyway, it was a very gradual process, but like since January, anyway, beginning of the year 2020, this was before the corona happened, before the COVID, before all the videos came out that if you're vegan it's less likely that you're gonna die. So this was like way before that. My main reason was like completely different, and so when I started I was pretty much eating like stir fries with like vegetables and just having some substitute mushrooms instead of meat or beans, and there is obviously a lot of products here that are substituting substitution as a meat. So you can find a broad range of like hot dogs and like even bacon, like steaks, chicken, pretty much everything you can find as a substitute, but I don't use those as much. I tend to get like mushrooms and eat like plant-based proteins like beans and chickpeas and lentils. Obviously lentils I used to cook before anyway. Like I have this recipe with lentils that I make it really, really good, but it was a big change, and it required a lot of my thoughts to go into that, and to change the way I kind of cook stuff, prepare stuff for work when I take food and that sort of stuff. At the very beginning when I started doing this, obviously I was getting inspiration from like famous bloggers, and I was looking stuff on Instagram and stuff that people cook. Obviously this was like way overwhelming. This looks way too good on Instagram when you see it from like bloggers and like professional vegan activists who do this. It just like looks very professional. So I was really overwhelmed, but I was following this guy Max, I think Lamana, I can't pronounce his name ever like correctly, but he has a really good book on stuff, how to cook vegan. And there was a couple other bloggers which I can put them down in the description below. I can't really remember the names of those, all of them, but I was getting inspirations from like different food sites and stuff like that, so I was testing them out. I even might have some photos on my Instagram if you want to check it out. There's actually just a few, but if you want to check it out, head over there. It took me a lot of time to cook that to look that good. So also another thing about me going vegan, I wasn't really reading on the back of every product. Like for example, if I bought pesto for my pasta, I wasn't really concerned if there is like 2% milk in it, so I wasn't really going too hard on myself. I just like stopped buying meat, and I stopped buying fish, and like literally I just cut off eggs, cheese and that sort of stuff. But I wasn't going like way too specific. If I had a biscuit at work or something like that and it had like butter in it, I wasn't really too much concerned about that. It was just mainly as an individual what I buy from the market and what I cook at home, and just the way I cook. I had a couple of favorites. My biggest breakthrough was spinach pesto, obviously, and I literally cooked that every single day for like 3 weeks until I was like sick of it. With like different types of nuts, mainly cashews, but you can do it with different types of nuts. Just put garlic in it, olive oil, you blend it all in, and that tastes just like amazing. It's food for the gods, honestly. As a meat substitute is mushrooms. And I must say I'm like lucky enough that my dad does this as a hobby, so he sends me a lot of nice mushrooms, which some of them are like not really accessible to the usual market that you go, so they're not magic mushrooms. I know what you're thinking, but it's all the different sorts, and these are different seasons mushrooms. So mushrooms like penny bun, mushrooms like true morels, dried penny bun, and there is a few other names which I don't really know them in English, but I can put the translation below as well. I have actually some for you to see how they look. Yeah, that's some dried mushrooms there. That's the penny bun, I think. And then my favorite, and obviously this apparently is the second most expensive mushroom in Europe, I think. So this is called true morels. It is one of my favorites. You can cook it with a bunch of stuff. It does look like a little sperm, like a single sperm under a microscope, but they're really funky and they're really tasty. And ooh, yeah, right. Anyway, I'll put some more details on the mushrooms below. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'm happy to talk about mushrooms all day long. Apparently they're very good aphrodisiac as well, so you can thank me later on that. I have another version of it which is like that, fresh packed. That's not the penny bun, but I'll check the translation on that one. I'll put it in. And that's similar to the first dried that I showed you, which is quite cool. And these like taste way better than meat, and they're very meaty, but they taste way better than meat. Predominantly what I eat, I mix all this stuff with like rice and pasta, or yeah, usually rice and pasta. I do most of that. I do rice and pasta with mushrooms and stir fries, obviously, and a bunch of vegetables. Another very important thing that I do, I try to get like smoothies in the morning. So anything with fruits, like anything I don't eat really, like celery and any nice fruits, like I can mix them with celery and stuff like that, like spinach, although I kind of like spinach now, but kale, stuff like that. You can just put it all in a blender and make a nice smoothie. So what I tend to do is do the smoothies in the morning, and just have like a one good meal and cook after in the evening or for lunch, so I can have it for the next day. But it's not that hard as it seems when you're a bit organized. And then in terms of expenses, it's pretty much the same. I would say it's not way too expensive to have like a vegan diet or plant-based diet. So that should be fine if you want to test it out. Basically, the way I was kind of progressing with the diet, I wouldn't say that it's a diet, it's just like a decision basically, but it didn't really had too big of an effect on me. I just felt a bit stronger in the days. I had like really long days, working and doing sports as well, so it didn't have any major difference at the start. Obviously at times I was like hungry most of the time in the beginning, but then once you kind of know your body what's saying and how much you want to eat and what you need to kind of eat to be filled in, then it's fine. It's not too much big of a difference really from what you eat normally. Generally it wasn't a very hard experience. The first 3 months I was feeling a bit like, oh, I need to eat something like meat, I don't know what to cook and stuff like that. But once you kind of grow into it, like, I mean, I'm talking for myself, once I grew into it, it wasn't really that hard. And then after the whole COVID happened, and you know, I had a bit more free time at home with lockdowns, and you know, I spend generally more time at home with the lockdown, obviously, and I had time to focus on like developing new recipes and all this sort of stuff. So it was a bit easier to kind of stick to my decision for a longer period of time, which technically I still am sticking to the same decision, but it was easier process of a change. After all that happened with the COVID and all, I watched all these like documentaries like the Seaspiracy and the Cowspiracy and all the other like animal agro farming, the agriculture, and you know, the way we treat like stuff for us to be able to just have a snack and eat meat, and just cutting all the forest down. Like that's I mean, after I watched all of that, I was thinking like, well, you know, that's bad, that's really bad, you know. And then obviously all the news break out that if you go on a vegan diet, like you can, you know, have 60% of less deadly effect of COVID and shit like that. So after I watched those things, I was thinking like, maybe I should just kind of stick to my decision and try to make it work, because it doesn't really make a big difference to me anyway. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. I mean, it's a bit of a personal one. It's not very like fun, but I like being a vegan, and it is in my head in some way giving back to the earth, which is why I also planted a tree for my birthday. You can check that video up here or there. And I support that, and I think in London there is so many places where you can eat out and have like you know, really great vegan recipes and takeouts, and like even you can order on Deliveroo. I forgot to show you this one, which is basically another type of mushroom, which is very, very delicious and very meaty, even though it looks slimy and awful. It is very delicious when you cook it with something, especially onion and garlic. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to mention there's plenty of meat substitutes in London. One of my favorites is Beyond Meat Cold Company, which produces like fake meat, as I call it, and they are actually very, very tasty. Usually when we do like barbecues, I tend to go for those ones. They're called Beyond Burgers. Beyond Meat is the name of the company. So I also invest some money in that company as well, because I believe in what Warren Buffett says: invest in what you know, spend money on. So but yeah, I'll leave that for another video, because I don't want to mix investing and veganism. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're vegan, or if you're trying to become a vegan or whatever, just put comments below. I want to know what your experience was, if you're a vegan, or if you're thinking of doing it, or if you're not a vegan. I'd like to have your thoughts in the comments as well, because on every vegan there is a person on YouTube who eats like 5 times more meat than usual, just to make a point, which I don't get those videos. But if you're one of those guys, please comment. I'd like to understand your perspective as well. I'm not saying everyone should go vegan, but just for the sake of the video, go on then. Smash those comments, And if you enjoyed this video, press that like button, it will mean a lot, and I'll see you all next week.